There's a lot of hypocrisy here. By the way, I've a feeling, Charlie, that by the time we get 5 years down the road, all the members of Parliament then will thank the good Lord and Ipsa for finally facing up to the challenge which every politician for the last 10, 20, 30 years has ducked. Every Prime Minister. It's all very well for a cabinet of multimillionaires to take this high and mighty view that you don't need to pay our MPs properly. If you want a House of Commons full of 650 rich multimillionaire David Camerons, many people would say one is too many, then this is the way to go about it. You either pay MPs properly or you don't pay them at all and you just have rich people doing it.
OK, Michael, so you've made the point about that. Just on a kind of personal note, and this is obviously purely hypothetical, would you, if you were still an MP, approve then an 11% pay rise?
I would accept whatever decision the independent parliamentary body that the House of Commons set up 4 years ago in order to get out of the business of MPs voting for their own pay. MPs and Parliament and the Prime Minister and the Cabinet and the Leader of the Opposition are being hypocritical. I remember sitting in interviews like this 4 years ago when everybody said, let's take it out of MPs' hands, let's give it to an independent body and let's abide by the decision of that independent body. And the hypocrisy that I am hearing from the House of Commons now as they try and fudge yet another difficult decision, which is simply a consequence of what happened 4 years ago, is breathtaking.
Well, with us in the studio, Robert Oxley from Taxpayers Alliance. It's an interesting point Michael Brown makes there, which is they followed the procedure. They took the decision out of their own hands. A decision has been reached. Now what?
Well, I don't reckon it's hypocrisy to realise that actually awarding an 11% pay rise at a time when most people have not seen their wages go up and they have seen prices go up, I don't think that's hypocrisy, and I think it would be very unfair to taxpayers, the people footing the bill, for this proposal to go ahead. And yes, this proposal is coming from Ipsa, the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, an unaccountable quango which has too often shown itself not fit for purpose. But MPs have to be accountable for this, and they can't, at the same time as making the necessary arguments to reduce public spending, to sort the economy, to then be given an 11% pay rise. So I think what MPs need to do today is avoid that by saying, actually, we're going to reject Ipsa's proposals. They could do it by simply voting a one-line piece of legislation saying, we reject these proposals, and then actually making MPs' pay accountable again by making sure that MPs say, no, actually, we're going to link it to average earnings, so that if our constituents aren't improving, their cost of living, their circumstances aren't improving, ours aren't going to be improving.
Let's just talk about that link, Michael, if you were to sort of average earnings. What's your opinion on that? Would that work?
I don't mind whatever formula is chosen, but you can't, when you don't like the outcome, change it. I remember Mrs Thatcher did actually do that in 1983. She said, let's link MPs' salaries, because it's very bad for us to vote for them ourselves in the House of Commons. Let's link them to the position of a Deputy Secretary in the Civil Service. Then one year along comes a civil service pay increase which is above the national average, and so, oh no, we can't have that, so we change the formula and we end up with duck houses and moats. And then David Cameron, Gordon Brown and Nick Clegg all say, let's have an independent body and subcontract this decision. I agree with Robert that it is unaccountable, but Parliament set it up, and if that one-line piece of legislation he wants to see on the statute book is anything to go by, what it should be is we reject Ipsa. They should do that. That is more honest, and go back to the system of them voting on their own pay. That would be accountable. That's what we used to do, but that's what led us to duck houses and moats.
Okay.